Ta-da! And welcome to Joseph's Model Railway and Toy Room. Thank you as always for joining me. A little bit of housekeeping. You don't need to like, follow or subscribe. I just put the videos out there where I can and have a holly jolly great time doing so. Now, in today's Express series of videos, I'm just going to share with you a couple of quick tips that can make your layout a bit easier, especially for those of you that are traveling about with modular ones. Some key tips I've used that no one's kind of figured out how and what exactly I did, because remember, this modular section all just lifts off. It's just styrofoam that's just literally sitting in place. But the interesting thing is, of course, if we take a module right out here, well, we can see our wonderful dirt bike rider there. It's all too simple. But when it's in place, it looks absolutely magnificent. Now, there are a whole bunch of joins that I can still go back and correct, and we'll do toward the end. At the moment, first appearance looks pretty good. But let me share with you a few tips today about how I can make some things very quickly disappear. We'll just talk about 2 or 3 top tips today in this video. Keep it nice and simple, and we'll certainly be having a whole bunch of fun. So let's dive in, shall we?
And a little demonstration, of course. Here we are with the end of the forest section, which we are currently working on creating that portal tunnel that we're going to be able to carry on and start linking up this coastal scene. So here is the product in question. And what's so great about it is, here it is. That's it. So the whole idea is it's quite nice it spreads out nicely, pull apart, make your trees do whatever you want, or just pull it out and stick it here and you don't see much of it. And I suppose the reason for that is that if we actually take the module out again and just have a look down near the bottom, you can see where obviously I didn't quite paint it. Well, obviously I didn't even know what was going to be there during the time of painting. I didn't want anything sticking, so be it. Now we can just take a bit of paint and something to just cover it back up, and that's fine. But the whole idea is we could still access the module easily if we need to do other things, vice versa if we need to take this one out. So it works quite well. And I think, all right, the joins can look a little bit questionable, but then they do look a little bit like terrain as well. So I thought, rather than trying to correct them, I think I'm just going to leave them. And the intention was always just to put some bushes and glue them down. And then I thought that might not work so well. Here you can see the other one just sitting up the top here. And it sits there nicely, and it gives me room to slide straight back onto the module. And as a result, if I had to take it out and do something, I don't have to worry about gluing or anything. I just bring my material back in and rub it back over accordingly. And that looks pretty good to me. So here is the secret weapon of choice. We have got, once again, scalemodelScenery.co.uk. I must admit they really do listen and understand what their clients need and make fantastic products. In this particular case, it's not so much any of their 3D laser cut kits or anything like that. What we've got in this particular one is this foliage mat. And it's quite good. Obviously, you buy them in 30-gram bags. And look, to be fair, I might not need to buy any more of these because it just goes such a long way. And as you can certainly see here, and I've got a little bit of the darker stuff scattered around in other areas, it's a wonderful thing. In fact, here's some right here. It's not even glued down. The reason why it's not glued down is that's the advantage of it, especially where modules meet. You can do what you need. Now, if we just take a little bit out in the packet, at first you take a bit. Now, it's hard to rip apart in the clumps. That's not a bad thing. You can take some scissors and do as you wish, but a little really does go a long way. There's, in this section that we can see down the bottom, there would probably only be about this much probably there, and it spreads out and works in nicely and blends in. So I really think it's an absolutely top tip. And not just that, if you're building hedges over fences or building your own trees, especially building up your own shrub work, which is something I haven't done yet and we're going to come back to a little further down the line. We're going to need some of that. I think this is an absolutely 10 out of 10 product and well worth checking out. The other quick thing is not that I'm going to be using it on this application from a similar seller in this situation. This is from dioramaprecipe.com. I want to say they're from Vietnam or somewhere, I can't remember, which is where I got this particular tree from. I also decided to purchase some additional leaves in a different color. And as you can see there at the moment, this section isn't finished, as we've well discussed, but you can see as we sort of drape it around and you come in and look at it at the angle, I am starting to achieve the exact image I was looking for from the Thomas the Tank Engine image.
What is this about for the next tip? It's just a quick one. You may have noticed in some of the previous videos a little kid's paddling pool sitting behind me. I used that when I was creating the forest section, when I was applying the static grass and the alike, and I could lay it in, or for any of these modular sections, I can sit it in there and easily repurpose any of the fallen static grass that's come through. And I found it very useful, keeps things nice and clean, and that's basically why you see it. I have since, of course, returned it to my daughter as the summer is coming along, but it's a fantastic tip if you're looking to keep things contained and working on things on a slightly bigger scale. And back outside we go again. Let's take a look at what's sitting in that car at the moment. Now, this was of course shot at winter time as I was building that forestry section, but outside in the car we're easily achieving about 30 to 40 degrees Celsius on a warm winter's day. Summer it can well and truly exceed 70, so rethink the materials you might be using. So where I just liberally applied some thick PVA paint down to set some of the stones in place and things like that, and needed it to dry, well, here's a great way to speed it up. Here's another top tip. Things like the portal and things, when I need to quickly speed up the drying between coats of paint, I'll often just plop them into my oven. I set the oven at anywhere at 50 degrees or less, and it's basically just emulating a warm day. Being fan forced, I get that extra push from the fan, but otherwise, it's good if you need to get something drying in a hurry. Another top tip is this may not apply to anyone that's using a gas oven, but if you do indeed use an electric one, just pay attention to your knobs if they allow you to do it. Many of them are digital and might not let you go that low, albeit it might be classified as a defrost mode on yours.
Well, that's going to do us once again for yet another video. Girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Where to from here? Well, I've just done the glue down for the ballasting going around this viaduct, and obviously we're pushing in to start working on this section at the moment. I actually haven't done any videos regarding ballasting because I think there's far too many out there. My way of doing it is pretty similar to everyone else's, I suppose. There's a few little differences I do. If anyone's interested, obviously I've got at least now 1/3 of the layout now ballasted, so if that's something that someone might be interested in seeing in how and what I'm up to, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to be revisiting it, because it's once the ballast is down, I'm more interested in what we're going to do after it's down, where we can add a bit of effect to those key areas. But in this little express series, I hope you did take a little something away from it. Sorry it can't always be big and spectacular like our forest areas or our cricket pitch, but if we're going to keep getting a video out every week, sometimes you just have to take the good with the bad, and that's what it's all about. And hopefully there was a bit of a top tip you could take away out of this madness. Well, we better keep cracking on, so until the next one, stay safe. Toodles!